Let's play pickleball.
Let's do it. Underway here, men's doubles pro.
And a drive that Matt Wright thought was going deep. Loong takes a big swing, just enough topspin. Let me tell you, that ball being in or out is a big deal for Tyler Loong here. Off to a good start on Championship Sunday.
Just a little bit wide. Expect the unexpected this week in Charlotte. Many folks expected Tyson McGuffin to run away with the singles. That was not the case. Here he is in doubles, competing for a championship with Tyler Loong by his side.
Absolutely, and you know, we had the women's first and second seed make it, so we have the men's first and second seed, but man, they've had to earn it through a lot of difficult battles.
Second serve.
And there's those hands of Loong. So quick.
1-1-2.
Riley Newman, 28 years old, out of Phoenix, Arizona. There's a nice point. Tyler Loong has come out on point.
And the great state of Utah has had quite a great run here. We talked about Megan Dazan and Elise Jones. Chuck Taylor got his first PPA medal, got a bronze in men's doubles. Callie Smith just took a silver, and here's Tyler Loong playing on Sunday.
Ernie from Newman, played well by McGuffin. Tyson McGuffin, out of the state of Washington, the former wrestler, plays this game with such incredible energy and emotion.
Second serve.
You owe him a card.
That time I do.
2-1-2.
But they love him. They love him. He's just recently signed a deal with Skechers, so he's all decked out in Skechers. And he'll start barking here in a minute.
And signed along with Catherine Parento. That's in from Wright.
So you see Newman attacking a lot more aggressive off the bounce here. Started that, and Matt Wright able to finish.
Oh.
Second serve.
You know, Riley Newman, we gave a new nickname too, Dave Fleming. Plastic Man. We grew up with the cartoon back in the day, and he plays like he can extend those arms out, just never ending, to go ahead and dig incredible balls.
Yeah, you can just stretch out Elastic Man as far as you need, and he'll even use the other side of the paddle. He'll go left-handed. He will do anything it takes to get that ball back. He'll be in the advertising at some point. He'll be in a fan's lap. That's part of the PPA experience with Riley Newman.
Comes off the net twice, that time tags Loong.
Yeah, and there's the big heaping helping of pancakes from that particular pancake grip that he uses. Get that right syrup and butter combo, folks. It's Mother's Day brunch. I'm sure Riley took care of that. And there's that just violent finish from Loong again.
Second serve.
Second serve coming up now.
2-3-2.
Matt Wright 44, Riley 28. And off the paddle of Riley into the stands.
So again, as talked about at the beginning of this match, McGuffin a little more assertive when playing on that side, started that and was able to catch Newman on the counter. Loong was on it and got a big swing, but way too high, and Wright's able to just deflect that down. Down is way more important than fast.
3-3-1. Point.
Yeah, we talked about the elasticity of
4-3-1.
Mr. Newman. Some of you may have even had a Stretch Armstrong doll, which
Second
was
service.
popular back in the day.
You know, nothing was better than my
4-3-2.
Stretch Armstrong doll until I punctured it, and then the jelly started to come out of it.
Oh.
Absolute classic toy.
Point.
Yeah, and if you bring inside out pace, Matt Wright is just going to be sitting there and ready to finish. And
Yes,
to his
sir.
credit, this duo tried to figure out, do we like Matt on the
5-3-2.
right? Do we like Matt on the left? They're going to keep it with the name. We like Matt on the right.
Wright, Newman now applying big time pressure. Really keeping McGuffin and Loong on their heels, Dave.
Yeah, and a little off balance there from Loong, and this is the pace and the
6-3-2.
pressure that they can put on you. If you speed the ball up to these two, they are going to be loving that if you're doing it from bad positions.
Line up.
That's one of the Newman speed ups that we've seen a lot of. Some successful, that one clearly not. Loong,
3-6-1.
quick hands, pounced on it.
There's an early attempt.
Oh my.
Loong hammers and he didn't have to, but he gets bailed out when it doesn't come back.
Loong added a doubles alley there in his mind in the middle of this point. This ball is going to land on the Acrotech logo over there. But entertainment value increased. I'm all for it. Thank you, Mr. Loong.
A little extra time in the pantry, never hurts.
Second service.
Yeah, and Loong had a chance to just destroy a ball there down. Didn't get it down, and Wright was
4-6-2.
ready.
Six-4 score, playing to 11.
Point.
That's 3 out of 5, and that's another beautiful shot by Loong and McGuffin.
Yeah, now a little bit of barking from McGuffin, and that's what you can do. You can
5-6-2.
take a ball behind a player much easier out of the air, especially when it's coming cross court, because they did not hit the ball before it, so they're not going to be as ready. And there's an example of that as well. So you hear us talk a lot, make the ball bounce. If the ball bounces, you have more time to be ready. If you can reach in and take it out of the air, you saw McGuffin go
6-5-1.
behind Wright, and you saw Wright return the favor, splitting McGuffin and Loong.
Boy, that lefty smash, really tough to defend.
Yeah, he just whips that paddle.
6-5-2.
He's got that index finger up the paddle and just smokes it.
Point.
There you see the Matt Wright style, which is he slides and just leaves that backhand in front of him. Then you cannot attack his body at all. So effective.
Point.
Loong can't do anything with that one. It's another point for Wright and Newman. 8-5 here in game 1.
8-5-2.
Parento and Jansen already crowned champions in women's doubles pro. Now McGuffin going to work. Best hand battle of the match thus far.
you know, that's something Loong and McGuffin need to build off of.
Second serve.
Boy, got to make a third. Again, we saw that a little bit in the women's match where there were openings in that fifth game for Kovalova and Smith to build on a big momentum point, and then didn't do something in the next.
Here comes that pressure, and again, the Ernie potential of Tyler Loong. He does it about as well as anybody in the men's game.
Absolutely does. So athletic. So got the Ernie, got the point. Can you build on it?
Newman with the around the post. Well defended by Loong. Oh. How good was that?
It was phenomenal. At one point, we had a quarterback and a center as McGuffin had to duck down and let Loong fire away on the overhead. He's very good. You heard the me about air traffic controlling that, and then Matt Wright got a little frisky there at the kitchen line. Missed it deep. And look at...
Was that in? I think it was.
In. With just some weird slider spin, like the catcher put down the three, and I don't even know if McGuffin has that. Watch the ball flight on this.
Oh. Saw a little bit of tongue wag after the point. That is McGuffin's game. We're tied at 8. We'll go get it. Stay alive.
Wow, a scorpion from the baseline.
Pop it up. Insanity.
And watch this get right here, sets that up, and when there's a lob on both sides of the court in the middle of a point, you know something special is happening, and it certainly was there.
So we welcome you back to Lifetime Fitness in Charlotte. We just saw the point of the day thus far from McGuffin and Loong, and when you watch this live, I'm telling you folks, it is an experience. If you've never been to a PPA event, you will leave with your jaw on the floor.
Yeah, bring a Band-Aid.
And there's another one in from Tyson. He is on a roll.
And again, if that dink is up, you can do things out of the air. And here we are at a game point.
That right. Not just yet. A side out and down 2. Just watching this, though, Dave, the athleticism of Loong and McGuffin, the interchangeable parts, made it really hard to really game plan for, huh?
Yeah, I mean, you are going to have to put a ton of balls away because they're going to track everything down. You have McGuffin playing more aggressive. Loong settling in very nicely on his championship Sunday opportunity here. Great to see.
Second serve.
So close.
Yeah, it's actually been Wright and Newman that look a little out of sorts with each other here, and you know the newer duo, just tournament number 2 for McGuffin and Loong, very comfortable.
Side out.
And Newman knows that was going deep, but couldn't get the paddle out of the way.
Frustrated. Another game point.
Second serve. 10-8-2. Timeout's been called by the serving team.
Love
It's a 1 minute
it.
timeout.
Love the
Score is
timeout on
10-8-2.
offense when you're serving, because they were having a little discussion there about the point before and then about what they want to do. And as I mentioned in the women's match, this is the chance to call a play, meaning we're going to serve in a specific spot. We are going to expect a third to go in a specific spot, and what ball and at what person are we going to attack? You can get all of that sorted out here. Part of it is just getting your mind right, get your hydration right. Just come out here and play the best point you've played all day.
And Dave, we've got to say to Tyler Loong's wife, Brittany, happy Mother's Day. She has 2 daughters. Tyson McGuffin's wife, Megan, 4 children there as well. Happy Mother's Day, ladies. Watching their husbands compete, and they're off to a pretty good start. 11-8 after game 1. Action-packed here in men's doubles pro. Just incredible points.
I'm in the big leagues.
Matt Wright, Riley Newman, hope to have an answer. Tyler and Tyson off to the great start. Game 2 is next.
Yeah, and the side situation held up again. Side that Wright and Newman are on has been the winning side throughout the day.
Side out.
And I think this is huge for Tyler Loong to come out here, big opportunity, and win game 1 and play very well. It's huge.
Big overhead by Loong.
You know, we talked about Stretch Armstrong before. Well, Matt Wright, a very talented player, but not as skilled defensively. So if you have a choice, we talk about putting the overhead, put it at the player that is less likely to be able to rally and get themselves to a ball. Nice choice by Loong on the overhead there.
Second serving.
And for those fans just joining us today for this championship Sunday, Dave, Matt Wright had a duel all week long with a player by the name of Julian Arnold
1-0-2.
in men's doubles and in mixed. And tell us about that experience.
I'll happily do that after this point.
Side out.
Julian Arnold we'll see in the singles final in a minute. And, you know, they had the good old-fashioned harken back to the day when McEnroe and Connors were talking to referees, opponents, fans, ball boys, and everyone else on the court. You know, people talk a lot about you need rivalries in sports, and we are seeing tremendous pickleball here today. But just butting up the rivalries and a little conversation back and forth, and it wasn't a little, it was constant conversation with Arnold and with Wright in that epic mixed doubles match. Wright was able to win both times, but not by much. And Julian Arnold playing brilliantly here. Got a bronze in mixed, and we'll see how he does in the singles later. A name to watch for sure, and a crowd favorite with the energy and the shots that he has in his arsenal.
Former tennis star, UCLA. Got a tremendous resume as he brings it into the sport of pickleball. Still 1-0 here in game 2. Another hands battle. Loong and McGuffin playing outstanding thus far. There's a nice one.
So you see that the attacking is going middle there, and the finish went middle by Newman there as Loong and McGuffin are jumping to hit with their backhands.
Loong able to tag Matt Wright.
Because that wasn't middle.
0-1-2.
Pop it up.
Just catches the line.
It's long.
Point.
Just seemed like Wright and Newman have had to work overtime,
One,
had to
two.
work a lot just to get 1 point on the board.
Really have. And that can be frustrating. That can force you to go for a little more on a ball like that. Now, I certainly like the risk reward to be more risk when you're serving because you can't lose a point. So that's what we saw right there.
Second serve.
And again, if you drive the ball at these two and it's not
1-1-2.
half a paddle above the net at most, you are toast. You want that an inch above at absolute most.
Point.
There's McGuffin putting it off Newman.
And I mentioned the Newman attacks off the bounce. If you read it well, he's going to be out of place and in trouble, and McGuffin read that perfectly with the backhand.
Point.
Another point.
Three, 1-2.
Lots of pickleball still to be played, but for McGuffin and Loong, how much of an upset do you think this would be if they were able to pull it off?
I know they're the second seed, but significant. Not that they're not talented players, but they are playing together for just the second time. So you have a team that has played extremely well all year. Wright and Newman have figured out how they play together. That's so important. And yet here's Loong flying around the court. You know, that drop to the backhand is usually where you want to put the ball, but it can be taken away if you're crazy athletic, can jump and touch and change a light bulb in the ceiling here at Lifetime Fitness. Look at him go.
So gracefully jumps right into the pantry. Matt Wright can't get to it. Was that out?
Skidded off the line, I think, and again the attack was great, and Loong, much like he did in a 9-all point when they were almost sent to the back draw in the quarters, defends that body. Here they are flipped because of the defense.
Second serve.
Shot was in. Second serve here coming up for Loong and McGuffin.
So nice job by Loong of asking how many points they have, and because when you switch, then you're on the wrong side. Potentially, you got to get that squared away. Just ask the ref, folks. They're there. They're an information guide. They should have an information stand in front of them with some pamphlets.
Well done by Newman. And Newman and Wright trying to solve this puzzle of McGuffin and Loong. Just have not been able to get on a run thus far, and there's another error from Matt that's uncharacteristic.
Yeah, and you start pressing a little bit. We're behind, we're behind, we're behind. How'd this happen?
Point.
Much needed point.
Yeah, and you see Wright sliding like we saw Leah Jansen sliding, which means there's a lot of court for Newman to have to cover from that.
Got to go get it.
And with the left hand he did.
Oh.
But there's that extra pace that maybe only Ben Johns has a ball that's hit that hard. Certainly no one else that goes southpaw. That is just like too much. I mean, they're in position, and it's just sometimes you just get beat. The fastball is just too good.
You mentioned his name as Riley puts one away there. Ben Johns not here. Colin Johns did compete with Patrick Smith, and it was interesting watching those two trying to mesh.
Yes, they saved 12 bronze medal points against in that bronze medal match, but Chuck Taylor and Callan Dawson, kudos to them, took the bronze. on try number 13.
Wow.
So Colin and Pat finished 4th. The podium only has 3 spots. So he'll be back with his baby brother in Atlanta.
5-2. McGuffin and Loong still lead. Sneaky from Matt Wright, gets it done.
Yep, and again, the ball doesn't bounce. It's like the menu. The menu has nothing on it if it bounces. If it's up, you got the full buffet. Choose something. Make sure mom's taken care of.
Great defense from Loong. Matt Wright starting to fly around. That is their game.
So Loong, great D, Matt, great D, and then you see McGuffin sitting forehand there and gets tagged on the outside hip by Newman. Smart pickleball all around there.
Second serve. I didn't see it. Did you see it? Calls out. Second serve.
Just out.
Okay.
By McGuffin to call.
They're considering challenge. They have the full complement of timeouts. They choose not to.
Okay.
Side out.
And Loong is doing such a good job. Communication's so big when there's a new team put together. He told McGuffin, hit that out of the air. He was able to read the height of that. Just little things like that are so helpful. And he matrixes his way, that is a word, out of that one. And I don't know if Charlotte International needs an air traffic controller, but Mr. Loong is seeing the ball and communicating very well right now.
Would love to have seen that one in super slow-mo. He got out of the way so quickly. And that one goes out from Wright. Another point makes it 7-3.
Yeah, and just reaching off balance, just out of sorts, quite frankly. And they're going to keep Matt Wright on the left.
Second serve.
You've probably seen it a lot of times in this game. Tyler Loong, an awesome player, but
7-3-2.
you find that partner and the magic is just created, isn't it?
Yeah. And then the confidence rolls. So now, if I'm Loong and McGuffin.
Side out.
What happened there?
Well, Loong went for the Ernie and Matt Wright saw it. So if you leave too early, then you leave the space you vacated open and you can hit a 1 mile an hour clean winner. So that's a clean winner there at 1 mile an hour. Hard to do. Great read by Matt. So now we have Wright on the left side of the court. We'll see what that does. Now he'll have to get more aggressive. And a beautiful drive there. Again, unwinding that stack, meaning McGuffin has to go flying all the way over there. You got to hit a good return.
And is that in? It is for Matt and Riley. So trying to build some momentum here in game 2. And we'll have a timeout. So Tyler and Tyson take a deep breath. 7-5. So far, they have dictated the tempo and the pace. Matt Wright, Riley Newman trying to build some momentum here in Charlotte at the Invisalign North Carolina Open. We'll step aside. Joining us throughout the broadcast, Riley Newman, Matt Wright in the near court, Tyler Loong and Tyson McGuffin in the far court. Loong and McGuffin have controlled the match so far. Second serve coming up from Matt and Riley. And how important is it for Matt and Riley to get a win in this game?
Really important, because now you suddenly have lost on the good side. And McGuffin dictating, lob on the point before, forces a tough ball for Newman. He goes for too much, misses it, and then beautiful roll. Again, when you are in sync, it's easy to see it. When you're not, it's easy to see it. So what did they do? McGuffin and Loong feeling good about where they're at. Wright and Newman have switched. So when you get the team that's the favorite coming into this to switch, my confidence swells. I agree with the choice, but as Loong and McGuffin, we're like, all right, we got them really worried.
Second serve.
And as the official paddle of the Invisalign North Carolina Open, the Gamma came off that just right for Riley Newman there.
Good looking paddle too. Got Riley's name on it.
Yes.
Side out.
Yeah. Love any company from Pittsburgh. So
if you're
great
another
stuff.
pro, Dave, and you don't have a sponsorship, would you play with a paddle with Riley's name on it? You may as well, right?
If you're asking me, I would not.
Second
But
serve.
it's a great paddle, number one. And if it's the best paddle by your sponsor, you're going to use
Got
it.
to do it.
Spencer Smith yesterday played against Riley using Riley's paddle.
There you
so
go.
It definitely happened.
There you go. Nice shot from Matt Wright.
So again, if it doesn't bounce, Mother's Day brunch.
6-8-2.
A lot of food talk today. Get me hungry.
It's lunchtime.
So far, it's been Loong and McGuffin feasting, although they come up short there. And now it's 8-7.
Yeah, and a little paddle clank in the middle there. So dangerous
7-8-2.
territory here now.
Momentum shift here. Another point from Wright.
And it's 100% correlated to the switch of sides, because now Matt Wright is in there dictating play with balls he's picking out of the air, and he's starting the fight first.
Matt Wright with his first tourney. Here we go, folks.
And we get a big roar out of Matt Wright after a tremendous point with everything. Beautiful dinks, great hands, and a gorgeous topspin lob by Wright in the middle of that pushed them off the line. And then it's McGuffin that pulled the trigger and hit it deep.
Huge point here on Championship Court. Back here on Championship Court, Charlotte, North Carolina, the site. Drew Felios, Dave Fleming, Hannah Johns, Wright and Newman in the near court. Wright and Newman, champs of the Riverland Open. You saw the quick graphic there as the ebbs and flows of the PPA Tour continue here in 2022. Tyson McGuffin, he's won 4 PPA championships. The one guy, again, Dave, that I said keep an eye on, Tyler Loong. He's the only guy on the court who has not won a championship. And right now, he is playing exceptionally well.
Indeed. And a lot of questions about whether that ball was in or out. You see McGuffin smiling back and forth. That ball clearly wide.
8-10-1.
So a game point save there. And when you have two male lions, Newman and Wright,
9-10-1.
if you're on the right side, you don't get to play and roar with all of your skills and traits, because that's not your job. Now Matt is bringing it.
Oh.
Second serve.
44 years old. He has found the fountain of youth here on the PPA Tour.
Yeah, you saw Matt jump back
9-10-2.
over the kitchen on his way back just to make sure those feet are clean. You can't just go strolling through the kitchen, folks. Don't run with scissors either.
There he is again.
Side out.
And that's the difference. So you kind of get not just lulled into the match, but you can't do everything you know you can do when you're on the right side. And now Matt's got everything going on.
10-9-1.
He's pulling out the whole repertoire here. And game point for Wright and Newman. Oh, a little off balance. Couldn't finish it.
So again, when you've changed roles, Riley's in there trying to do something with the two-hander, which is a very effective play. Newman had an idea. Those are some big old shoes that stood on each other there, and then goodbye into the kitchen.
There's a winner from Newman. So it could have headed south quickly for Wright and Newman, but they find a way to halt the momentum of Loong and McGuffin, and they take game 2.
They sure did, and it was with that big rip off of a short return, and it's Riley Newman that finishes after Matt Wright made it happen throughout the back half of game 2.
So 11-9 in game 2. Both teams have won a game. Let's go to game 3 at the Invisalign North Carolina Open. Our coverage continues from Charlotte on Mother's Day. Things were about to be lost. Wright and Newman find the stroke, and now Loong and McGuffin trying to have an answer. The side advantage that looked like it was apparent in women's doubles has carried over here to the men's side. Usually, if you're on the side of Loong and McGuffin, you've gone on to win the game.
Second service.
Was defied only one time in that 5th game of that women's doubles match.
And there's that attack off the bounce from Newman, and just swatted with, like, get that out of here, man. Come on.
0-0-1.
Tyler Loong thinking Ernie once more. There's another nice shot from Tyson McGuffin.
Yep, barking early here. He knows they let something slip away, so got to keep that energy. And again, this dink right here goes too far, and your opponent always eats it. Got to get that down.
This game, Dave, is so much about wrist action, and Tyson McGuffin has that quick wrist reflex as well as anybody I watch.
Yeah, you want to have that steady, though, so not too wristy or you lose control of the paddle, but the ability to manipulate the paddle is critical, and he does it as well as anybody.
Second service.
And McGuffin goes right to Loong and says, my bad. Just sometimes you're like, I'm going to lob. I have a great idea. I'm going to lob. That guy's like 8'11" and can leap out of the building. Not the right time there. You want disguise to be part of your lob.
Remember in basketball, the Michael Jordan era, you had Patrick Ewing, Charles Barkley, Clyde Drexler, all these great players trying to win championships. What would the landscape be with these guys if it were not for Ben Johns over the past year?
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing. There's a lot of NFL teams that would love for Tom Brady to have not made his presence felt in the league. So what you can look at, though, is tennis. Like Federer seems to have been this unbelievable, maybe best player ever. He got a bunch. Nadal got a bunch. Now Djokovic's getting a bunch.
Sure.
The fourth guy in that is like, come on, man. Now a couple of people have snuck in there and gotten onesie twosies here and there, but you know what he does do to all these gentlemen is make them better. because you've got to be, and they know it. And I guarantee you, as this sport continues to elevate, there's going to be more guys that keep pushing this level up, and that's what's so exciting.
Side out now to Newman and Wright. Trying to get on the board here for the first time in game 3. And that is a little bit long for McGuffin. So the first point for Matt and Riley.
So when you try that cross-court attack, you run out of real estate on the sideline. So you saw Matt Wright was able to keep his in a few shots ago because he was so far wide.
Second service.
And again, McGuffin reading the Newman attacks and just sitting on him and finishing clean, beautiful winners.
1-3-2.
Tyler Loong emphatically proving he belongs here on championship court on championship Sunday.
Yeah, and he's going to have an earache with McGuffin barking at him. He's excited as well.
So many memorable matches throughout the week, Dave. How about Tyler and Tyson facing Yardrow and Kinney? A couple of chips off the old block, but it was a slugfest, wasn't it?
Yes, Tito Yadro is a very talented player from Tennessee, and seeing him play move so beautifully, and got him and Kenny just to the edge.
Right there.
9-9 in the third, and couldn't get there, but that's what makes these tournaments so special.
The 18th seed would have been something else to see them here. There's Newman tracking one down.
Yeah, you went old school basketball. There's a nice sky hook from Kareem Abdul-Jabbar right there. Kareem Abdul Newman. Beautiful finish.
Lob it up. Guffin. It's long.
So you see here they have said, you know what?
1-4-2.
I know, Matt, you brought us back from the other side, but Newman is now left side player.
Well done for McGuffin.
And that just hasn't looked as good, and the scoreboard would agree. I'm sure there's a reason that they're where they're at right now.
Down the line from Matt Wright. Second serve here from Loong and McGuffin.
Yep. So we got a ball that he could attack with, but he's pickleball's 1-2 or 1-2-3. You were actually setting up the next ball, which Wright did perfectly there.
Now McGuffin taking charge.
And as much as he loves barking, the crowd loves it even more. And this crowd is awesome. So why not feed? That's part of it. We talked about the mental interaction and some shenanigans earlier in the week. Why not have everything on your side? Wow, McGuffin saw that an hour before that was even sent, and just, yeah, you saw him flick his hand there. Just can't believe he missed it.
5-1 lead though for McGuffin and Loong. Loong goes for another Ernie. Has to come back. Tyson holds down the fort, but eventually Newman, those backhand smashes just too much.
Yeah, no one knows that better than McGuffin, as you know, Tyson and Riley played a whole year side by side. So he knows, and Riley knows the places that you can potentially exploit. There are not many, but there are definitely places they'd rather have the ball.
Beautiful shot from Wright. It's a point. Pulls them to within 2.
So I'm sure the conversation Loong just had quickly with McGuffin is if I put it over their cover line and I'll take middle.
Second server.
And this is what happens. So they changed who the first server was, which you can do before this game started, and it bit them right there. And it cost them a point. Now it's in their head. So they were on a nice little comeback trail here. You got to throw it away. But now, because Wright has been on the right side even all day until they switch. So now he's there on the odd. Tweener.
How about that from Loong? Can't follow it up though. Crowd loved the entertainment value.
So did I. Come on. Just got to make the next ball so we can do something with the tweener.
Right there. Nice courtside view there of this dink battle. McGuffin again wins the exchange.
Yeah, and he's pulling the trigger first in this particular pattern. And it's working. And now there's like full contact. He almost took Loong into the corner there, trying to scrum out a puck.
Tyson McGuffin would have made a phenomenal wrestler in WWE.
For sure. Yeah. Nice inside out there by Newman to finish there, but you know, chipped away a couple more there.
He's got a little bit of Rey Mysterio entertainment value to him. Very daring, exciting, emotional. Second serve here. Tyson McGuffin was a former wrestler in high school. Winner from Wright.
Just silly hands because McGuffin took that back and down, but Wright turns his body and just has that backhand there and is able to navigate it so well. That's a frustrating lost point there.
Big point for Wright and Newman. And they win it. Just get the sense, Dave, this is a critical point in this match here.
Yes, considering a timeout there, they choose not to.
5-7-2.
See if the decision to play on pays off.
Oh, there it is.
Timeout's been called by the receiving team. It's a 1-minute timeout. The score is 6-7-2.
I like the choice by McGuffin. It's just the execution.
So paddles down as Wright and Newman closing in. Crowd enjoying their pickleball here in Charlotte. We're in game number 3. Invisalign North Carolina Open, and we're back after this.
Now I got rollies all in rotation. Hop on the jet just to take a vacation. Remember the moments was trapped in the basement. It's all taking me places. Running on like we trapped in the matrix. Bet on myself and go ball out in Vegas. Living a life like I'm rich and I'm famous. Don't see the grind that I know that it came with.
Yeah, That's been one heck of a week here in Charlotte, North Carolina. Drew Felius with Dave Fleming. Hannah Johns with us as well. 7-6. Loong and McGuffin a slim lead here in game 3.
Side out.
And they'll get a side out of the timeout, so it works out.
And that makes you feel so good. You stopped that, you kept the lead. And wow, again, they were in the wrong spot. Now, being honest, McGuffin and Loong don't want to win that way, but they've got to get their positioning squared away here.
That one goes awry.
Second server.
So that's the pattern. If it's down and then it's a ball that Wright can attack down the line, McGuffin's most likely going to pull that back into the middle, and Newman's there to finish it. That's going to work all day on a ball that Wright can start the fight.
Side out.
Tyson into the net, so great sequence there for Wright and Newman. Able to get the serve back, and now they can tie.
6-7-1.
Oh,
And you see that Newman was able to get the attack on the left side of Loong's body,
7-7-1.
paddle side here, and he's not able to get much on it and finish with number 2 there. You don't ever want to expect you're just going to make it work on one. And the lead is gone.
Wright and Newman with their first lead here in game 3.
Yes. 8-7-1.
They were struggling just moments ago, and they have once again turned it around.
Second
Right
server.
now, Dave, they're winning, I think, the mental battle. Physically, the more athletic there
8-7-2.
is Loong and McGuffin.
For sure. And it comes down to the patterns and point construction.
Side out.
And that's a ball, that's the hardest dink. The inside-out backhand going back cross court from the player on the right side.
7-8-1.
The danger is if Newman sticks his forehand in there. He did not there. Wright comes up short.
That one's long as
Second
well.
server.
Ooh, and that's a ball he was making when they had the lead. That one just sails a bit wide.
Yeah, that shot has
7-8-2.
not been there here in game 3. Oh, pull the string.
With the lefty-righty, you have 2 forehands in the middle, and I think Wright and Newman saw McGuffin leading, and watch this, McGuffin's going on this next ball, but it's Loong that takes it, and they weren't ready for that paddle. Little deception, unintentional, so effective.
Side out.
That up effectively by Wright and Newman, and it'll be a side out here, tied at 8.
Yes.
Yeah, and Wright did a nice job pushing Loong back, and then it's harder to make the ball bounce if you're a couple feet off the line.
Point.
So another point here. Remember, if they win this game, the next game they'll
8.
start on that favorable side.
9-8-1. Timeout's been called by the
Paddles
receiving
are
team.
down
1 minute
again,
timeout.
so,
The score is 10-8-1.
You know, I love to talk about the Wordle. I say smart. We talked about what they've done today. Put SMART in your Wordle today because Newman and Wright have been smart about how they've gone about their business here. When they were in trouble, they switched right over. Now they've gone back to Newman on the left side, and they've got a lead in game 3.
Right now making all the right calls, the veterans, Matt Wright and Riley Newman here in North Carolina. And oh, what a season it has been thus far on the PPA Tour.
Let's go.
So game point here for Wright and Newman. And McGuffin's not going to let that happen. Second serve coming up.
So good timeout there.
10-8-2.
Can they save another?
Tyler wanted it. Wasn't there. McGuffin holds it down. Speed it up. Matt Wright up to the task. Oh, just out.
And after all that, it is a lob volley that goes deep. So the timeout and 2 stops.
Just in from Newman.
That was an incorrect. They have 10.
8-10-2.
10-2,
I
yep.
think this is wrong.
McGuffin flying all over the court. That one goes awry. A little confusion there, Dave.
Yeah, I am certain that they
10-8-1.
were in the wrong position there and got away with it.
Point game.
And a point
2 minutes.
as Tyler Loong can't return it, and that leads to a victory in game 3 for Wright and Newman. So they lead 2 games to 1 with a chance to close it out in game 4. How about Newman? And how about Wright? They've made the adjustments. Sometimes that is what this game is all about. Men's doubles pro heads to game 4 after this. Well, the thrilling week in Charlotte continues. Wright and Newman lead heading into game 4. A little bit of confusion before that last break, Dave, in that sequence.
Yeah, now Wright and Newman are switching first server again, and now it's back to Matt Wright on the right side, so he will be there when they have an even number of points. And let's see if McGuffin and Loong can overcome the mental strain of being up in games 2 and 3 and not being able to finish.
1-0-2.
Wright doesn't know what to do with it.
Oh, he tried some handball there, which is some nice hand-eye coordination. I'm going to dig through the rule book real quick. Not legal.
0-1-1.
That one's going to go awry. You talked about the quality of finishing. I think it's an aspect of pickleball that at times is underrated.
0-1-2.
Yeah, and the ability to be patient while you're trying to finish, and you play against McGuffin and Loong, who are so athletic that you think it's finished, and oh, it ain't. It's not finished. Go again, go again, go again. So be able to be in the moment on that and then find the angle or the pace or that paddle side hip a lot of starting out pickleball players, they don't aim, they just hit. These guys are picking out millimeters on people's bodies and hitting them there.
Another beauty from Newman.
Yeah, so these two, being Wright and Newman, have been able to, you can see they're even asking, are they in the right position at 2? So that's what, when you switched this thing all around and you had it in the blender, even you're not sure, maybe. Because in the last game, I was over there on the even and the odd. Where are we at here? This is really important for Loong and McGuffin to stop this right now, though. Newman thought it would go wide enough for an ATP there, and the ball did not travel wide enough, so then he was stuck leaving the ball up. Nice finish by McGuffin.
Second serve.
I'll just characterize that as odd.
0-2-2.
Weird bounce.
There for Loong and McGuffin. Tyler Loong not used to playing 4 games and 5 games deep here on a championship Sunday. That one goes high.
Yeah, and that's part of experience too. What's 3 out of 5 feel like?
A little bit different, right?
The good news is you lost 2 out of the first 3 and you're still playing.
It's different going 12 rounds as a boxer than 15 rounds.
No
obviously.
doubt. No doubt. Now the man's conditioning is impeccable, so that is not going to be a factor. But the mental grind, how do we get back into this? What do we do? All part of this.
Ernie, there it is. A little emotion for Mr. Loong.
Yeah, gets a little kiss of that one.
1-2-1.
Maybe that'll get it started. Ernie, now a swat.
2-2-1.
Stringing it together here, tied at 2.
Second serve.
Second serve coming up after Newman puts it away.
Yeah, you talked about finishing. Able to finish big with the two-handed backhand. So lethal because with that left hand involved in the finish, you can let the ball, a lot of the attacks are in front of your body in pickleball. That you can let travel and let the left hand either rip it hard cross court or go down the line.
Tied at 2.
Side out.
McGuffin hits it into the net. Side out here for Wright and Newman.
2-2-1. Second serve.
Wright looking to the heavens, but you can't see the heavens because we're indoors.
And there's Matt Wright.
Just filth. Inside out forehand beauty by Matt Wright.
3-2-2.
Maybe he can see through the building. I don't know.
Looked like took a swing at it and then he crashes into the net.
So let me explain the rule here. If you go for the Ernie and don't touch the ball, you cannot cross a straight line or the plane of the net. If you contact the ball, you can. If you don't, you cannot. That's what happened there. That's a fault. That's Newman and Wright's point.
Caught in no man's land. Did everything he could to try and save himself. Just could not do it.
resulting in a point. That call is being challenged.
Okay, so they're going to challenge. Boy, this is going to be interesting. Okay, so he can't have touched the net or have crossed the net because he did not touch the ball. So that's what we're looking at. Loong thinks he threw on the emergency brake and stopped it. We'll see if he did.
Never had this particular rule here be challenged. So
not that I'm aware of, no.
Interesting to see the result. Tried to stay off it. If he didn't touch it, he was absolutely all over it.
Here's right down the line.
It's going to be really tough to overturn that.
So he slammed on the brakes. But did he emphatically enough for the review? Alan Roman made the call.
Be really surprised if this is overturned. Well, let's see. Alan Roman is our lead referee. Don Morgan, second in charge. Greg Chetta is our tracker, and Wayne Anderson is on video taking a look in the truck.
Yeah, and I think the feet, though, may have stayed behind, and therefore it's like a wide receiver dotting the sideline. So we'll see what they saw in the truck.
After review of the call, the court stands player across the plane of the net. Riley will be serving 4-2-2. Timeout will be charged to the receiving team. Receiving team will have 1 timeout. Serving team will have 2 timeouts.
Okay, so the emergency brake did not get fully activated there.
Time in. 4-2-2.
So Newman is served. 2-point lead for Wright and Newman. They right now have the momentum on their side, clearly.
Yeah, and again, Newman and Wright have done a great job of taking advantage of anything that's up and finishing. Even that one, they pushed McGuffin off that forced the error by a beautiful ball down the line from Matt Wright. Great return by McGuffin there from that Selkirk Labs paddle. Really got the bite on that one. They got to go now, Drew.
Starting to slip away here from Loong and McGuffin.
So now they've got it figured out. If Matt attacks down the line, the reply from McGuffin's in the middle, and guess what's waiting? Pancakes.
With lots of syrup, right?
Oh, yes, got to. Come on.
Even some blueberries to go with it.
You don't got to mess it up with fruit.
Chocolate chips, how about that?
Okay, much better.
6-2-1.
Again, just this is where precision comes in here. That ball has to get on the ground. If it doesn't, a mess is coming from Wright and Newman, and now theirs from being kind of out of sync, let's be honest, in the first game and a half, to completely in command now.
Timeout's been called by the receiving team.
Absolutely a complete 180 we have seen here on Mother's Day. And you see the frustration from Loong and McGuffin. All that bounce in their step seems to be gone right now in a pivotal time. 8-2 in game 4. We'll be back in a moment. It's got Wright and Newman closing in on a men's doubles pro gold medal. So McGuffin and Loong going to the timeout to try and halt the momentum. See if it works. Newman tracks down that lob. Right into the net. Well done.
Good attack by McGuffin off the nice lob.
score it.
And the two-handed attack off that Gamma paddle, the official paddle of the Invisalign North Carolina Open. Nice two-hander by Riley Newman, has played flawlessly the last couple games.
Side up.
Saw a chance to be a hero and just couldn't get underneath it.
291.
Oh, wave and a miss from McGuffin that time.
Yeah, there was confusion as to whether Wright or Newman would take the ball, so McGuffin's coach was all jacked up, and then, again, a weird winner. And that attack way too high from Loong, so gotta find something here.
921.
Combination of Newman and Wright, when it is working, it is awfully tough to stop, and they are on the brink of a championship. It's championship point. So Riley Newman and Matt Wright shake off the early cobwebs and surge towards a championship emphatically here in Charlotte.
Yes, Wright and Newman, so smart, so clutch to get out of a hole in games 2 and 3. And then the official paddle says, I've seen enough. From Pittsburgh, PA, the Gamma finishes it off. That's what veteran savvy does for you, though. Find a combination that works, stay in a pattern that works, switch out of it if it isn't working, and then to go back to it with Newman finishing on the left side of the court. That's what champions are made of, not just the athletic gifts, but the smart.
And I think you're right, Dave. Matt Wright, a little bit of a slow start. Saw what happened to Lucy Kovalova, but he was able to right the ship with Riley Newman by his side. They do it in 4, and we'll crown them champions next. Welcome back to Charlotte, where Matt Wright just won his 9th PPA championship. Riley his 6th. Right now, the pair standing by with Hannah Johns.
Well, welcome back to Championship Court. I've got our winners here to announce: Riley Newman, Matt Wright. Guys, huge congratulations. So well played out there. Listen to this crowd. They're loving it. After losing that tight game 1, they seemed like they'd come out really on top of their games. What did you guys discuss?
Yeah, I feel like Tyson and Tyler, they played a really good first game, so kudos to them. They were great competitors, and they actually started off 7-3 in the second game. And so Matt and I, we called a timeout, and we had to switch it up. So I was starting on the left side of the court. It was not really working so hot, so we switched it up, put Matt over there, and I felt like that really changed the momentum of the match when we started to switch it up, mix up our shots a little bit, move the ball around, and then that created some openings, and then we started to get the juice back in the arena, started to play a little better, so I was happy to finish it with the gold today.
Well, Tyler Loong, as we know, is a lefty, which puts those 2 forehands in the middle across the net. How do you prepare for that?
Yeah, it's tough with Tyler because you want to put it on his backhand to keep him out of the middle, but if you go too far wide, I think they introduce him as the Ernie King, and he's nothing short of that. So it's a bit suffocating playing him because every shot you hit, it's on your mind, right? He can embarrass you at any moment. So when they're pinching middle with their forehands, that can make you uncomfortable too. So having the lefty-righty combo where they put their backhands on the outside, it's an issue, and it's something you have to be aware of the whole time.
Well, I want to talk about visibility as well. We've been talking about this all tournament long, that one side is better than the other in terms of what you see behind you, the stands versus the backdrop in the back. How does that play out on the court?
You know, actually, I relate it to basketball. So I played college basketball, and whenever you were shooting in basketball, you always wanted that backdrop kind of right behind the rim, so it's easier for the depth perception. When you're in those big arenas, I only played a smaller college, but they were smaller gyms. But in those big arenas, it was tough to shoot when there's bleachers behind the basket, just because you don't have that visual for the rim. So for today, when you're facing that green screen, facing that way, it was much easier to pick up the ball, much easier to see it. For the volleys, it's much quicker. When you're facing the crowd, our lovely crowd here, it was a little bit tougher when you're facing them because there's different shirts. It's just you don't have that backdrop right behind, so it can be a little tricky. You just got to focus in and watch the ball all the way in.
All right. Well, Matt, Riley, how are you going to go celebrate this win now?
I think we're going to go play each other now.
That's true. We do have that coming up later. This team, your mixed team, is going to play Matt's mixed team. All right, Riley, what are you going to do later on tonight?
Well, I celebrated earlier with a Carolina Hurricanes game on Wednesday. They got the W, so maybe check out downtown Charlotte. It's actually my very first time in North Carolina. I'm really, truly having a blast. So if there's any recommendations from the crowd, just shoot your way to my Instagram page and tell me where to go, but hopefully downtown Charlotte and just exploring.
What's your Instagram page?
Instagram is Riley Newman PB. Give me a follow. I want to quickly say thank you to Gamma Pickleball for my 206 signature paddle. It just came out. And then also my Takea 64-ounce Newman Pickleball bottle. Truly amazing to be out here and playing pickleball for a living.
Well, Matt, I know you're a bit of a ghost on social media, but where can we find you?
Boy, I don't know. You can find me in Wichita, Kansas, probably behind a desk.
He's a lawyer, guys, by trade. All right, we're going to bring Connor Ogden on court now to present that trophy to you both.
Matt, you were anything but a ghost on the court here today. Great playing, guys. It was a fun match to watch. You guys have really made a name for yourselves on this tour and established yourself in, one of the top seeds here. If not the top seed, I think you guys were the 1 seed this tournament. And so, you're rightfully so. You guys showed out today. Thank you for coming here to Charlotte, Lifetime Fitness. And on behalf of the PPA, Invisalign, we'd like to present you guys with this trophy. Congratulations.
Congratulations, guys. Drew, take it away.